Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and I would like to just take time to welcome the people that have subscribed to my channel since the first of the year. I think I should restate one of the goals of my channel is to document as many ancient sites around the world as I can, and I especially like doing that in Egypt because we have some of our most ancient ruins and some of our most fascinating ruins there. And I like making videos about sites you have obviously heard about in Egypt, like the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx, or what we call the Sphinx today. But even more so, I think I like making videos about sites maybe you haven't heard about, and today is one of those days. I'm flying you into the present-day village of Ṭihnā al-Ǧabal, and I will back out here just so you get a real good idea where this is. But I wanted to make a video on this site today for a couple reasons. One is because this site is very ancient and it goes back to the Old Kingdom, maybe 4,400 years ago. And there are many names for this ancient site here. Akoris, or Akoris, is the Greek name for it. And there is an old Egyptian name for it, Dehenet, I believe it is. But I will leave those in the description. But this is the area where we seem to have a very ancient necropolis that they were building on and building tombs in all the way through the dynastic period of Egyptian history. But this is what it looks like on Google Earth. And they date this back to the Old Kingdom. So, you know, if the Old Kingdom was building here and then dynasties further on built in this area, you wonder how far back this site actually goes. But this is what it looks like, and I will leave the links for this photographer in the description. But this is what I suppose you would call the necropolis looks like. We have tombs and shrines and some ruins of temples here. And obviously, if this dates back to the Old Kingdom, you know, it's pretty amazing that we still have this left today. But this is the view overlooking the Nile River, or the Nile Valley. And up here we have a tomb coming from the Old Kingdom, maybe 4,500 years old, of a high priest. And I will leave a few links for that below. There is hardly any information on this site, but I was glad to find this site on Google Earth and give you a look at it here. This is the tomb, I believe, of a high priest coming from the Old Kingdom. The craftsmanship is really good, and obviously we have some vandalism, graffiti. This isn't guarded at all. It's just sitting out there in the open. But obviously we see some excellent old craftsmanship here coming from this tomb. Give you a look at this here, the top of it. Obviously the winged disc. But I find that pretty fascinating. And I'm 90% sure this is the tomb from the Old Kingdom that they speak of. And I just want to go over to another site here, or another picture. I believe this is from a different photographer, and I will leave links below again for these people. But this is what it looks like here. And what I find fascinating is this site was rediscovered by Napoleon on his journey into Egypt when he documented as many ancient sites as he could in Egypt. And he is the one that actually rediscovered this. But here you see right into these walls of the Nile Valley. We have tombs here from the Middle Kingdom, from Ramses about 3,200 years ago, from Ptolemy V about 2,000 years ago. Everybody was building here, and the oldest credited ruins come from the Old Kingdom about 4,500 years ago. So you wonder, maybe, does it extend even farther back? Because any documentation that predates the Old Kingdom is kind of scurried away and criticized, or not even written about, because Egyptologists don't even want to go there. But I just thought this was a pretty fascinating site. It is on the east bank of the Nile. The Greek name for it is Akoris. The Old Egyptian name, I believe, is Dehenet, but I will leave those names in the description box. I thought I would document the site. It comes from the Old Kingdom. It is very ancient. How ancient, we may never know, but you notice how this is kind of on a point, an outcropping, just like the Giza pyramids are, on a point on the outcropping of the Giza Plateau. But let me get squared around here. This is the modern day village of Ṭihnā al-Ǧabal. It had many ancient names, many people, many dynastic periods built here. Hope you thought this was interesting. You have a nice day.